Greeting book lovers, bookworms, bibliophiles. The book that I want to review today, I have already reviewed once. It is Survivor by J.F. Gonzalez. But I feel like I have some more things to say about this book. So this book I read few months back, and it's easily the most disturbing, the most disgusting book that I've ever read, and this is the kind of book that makes you think what choices you should have made in the similar circumstances. So I have already done a review of this book and it's on my channel, so if you haven't seen it, stop this video and go watch it. But if you have seen it, there will be some spoilers in this review, so if you don't want any spoilers, click away, read the book if you feel so inclined to read it, and come back later at some stage and let me know in the comment section what do you think of this book. But that said, let's get into this review. So this book tells the story of a couple, Lisa and Brad Miller, who are lawyers, and one weekend they go on a little holiday vacation and they get away from their work and stuff, and they're basically going to their hotel to have a nice, quiet, fun weekend. And on the way there, they have a road rage incident. A guy in the van, Mr. Smith, basically chases them down the highway and lo and behold places Brad under citizen's arrest. Brad, I'm gonna keep this synopsis bit brief because I've done the review. In this review I basically want to give my ideas on this book and what I think of it, and go into a bit more detail. So I'll be quick with the synopsis and stuff. So Brad is placed under citizen's arrest for the weekend. Lisa Miller, his wife, the heroine of this book, or the protagonist, if you want to call her the protagonist, is placed in a hotel by the police. So she is basically isolated. And from her hotel, she is kidnapped by the same guy who was hassling them in the van, some big guy who calls himself Mr. Smith. So Mr. Smith, as he kidnaps Lisa, tells her that the reason that she's been kidnapped is because he is going to make her star in a snuff movie. So the subject matter of this book is pretty bleak. It's pretty dark. And he also tells her that he derives no pleasure from snuff movies or how they are made. He's in it only for money, but the other people who will take part in the movie, a guy called Animal, and there's another guy, his name escapes me, but he says that they really derive some sick pleasure from torturing their victims and stuff. So basically Lisa is kidnapped. She's taken to this remote cabin in the mountains, and in that cabin some nasty shit happens. There's another lady in this cabin who is also tortured. Lisa Miller in her predicament does something really nasty. She offers the torturers and the movie makers another lady named Alicia and her infant child called Mandy, or Amanda Jane, if I remember correctly. And she tells them, I can offer you this another lady and her infant child, and you can film them, do whatever with them, let me go. So this moral choice that Lisa makes is kind of the crux of this novel, you know. I mean, it makes you think, what would anyone else would have done in Lisa's shoes in this scenario. So what happens is Alicia is kidnapped, her baby, her infant child is kidnapped, but Lisa escapes the torturers. But she goes, meets Brad, her hubby, but she is traumatized as fuck. She is suffering from really bad PTSD and she can't sleep, she can't eat. She doesn't even tell Brad that she has offered Alicia and Alicia's infant child to the bad guys because she's feeling so bad about it. And but she eventually tells Brad that she did that to escape. Now, how they met Alicia and Mandy was when they were driving to the vacation. Before the hassle with the van, they bumped into this homeless lady called Amanda who was begging for money. She was having some domestic issues, so they gave Amanda some money because she was with infant Mandy. That's how Lisa knew Amanda, and she kind of knew where Amanda was staying. That's in the opening scenes of the book. So the bad guys, the villains of this book, do nasty things to both Amanda and Amanda's child. And as the story goes on, the bosses of the bad guys tell them that it's not good enough. We need Lisa. She has escaped. We need her as well. So the bad guys are still on Lisa's back. Now, so that's kind of the background, what happens. But where this book stands out, like I said before, this is not for the squeamish. This, if you're easily disturbed, this is not for you. This is one of the bleakest, darkest, the most disturbing books of extreme horror ever written. There are others, few others, Cows by Matthew Stokoe, but that has a surrealistic aspect to it. The Big Head by Edward Lee, but that one has black humor. This one doesn't have any fucking humor. It's really disturbing till the very last of the book. Also, before I get into my thoughts about this book, there is a prologue, the opening scene, where a lady named Mabel Schneider, back in the 1950s, is having an affair with a young lady, I think college-going lady, back in the 1950s. She's having an affair with another young lady whose name escapes me, but they're having kind of a BDSM kinky relationship. And in the opening scene, Mabel ties the other girl up, starts kissing her, you know, flogging, whipping, whatever you do in BDSM shenanigans. And slowly, she starts sucking on the girl who's tied her eye. Man, that scene is nasty. From the opening pages of this book, you know what the fuck you're in for. She basically sucks her eye out. This is one nasty opening. A prologue in 1950s, and then the story cuts to late 90s, Brad and Lisa's story. So that prologue is just left there. Few opening pages. But as the story goes on, Brad has a friend. He's a lawyer, Gecko. I think that's a nod to 1980s movie starring Michael Douglas, Wall Street. he was named Gecko, you know. Greed is good, that dialogue. So he's in there, and when he finds out that the bad guys are still on Lisa's trail, even after her narrow escape, he places them under security in Las Vegas, of all the places, you know, busy hotel. Which hotel she was at? She was at one of the famous Las Vegas hotels. I think it's the Julius Caesar one, Caesar's Palace. Yeah, and Gecko's security team is there, big guys watching Brad, watching Lisa in that hotel 24/7. And how, I'm not gonna fully spoil it, but how the bad guys kidnap Lisa from Las Vegas, from that hotel, is fucking mind-numbing, it's mind-boggling. And I'll say that much, that Mabel Schneider from 1950s has to play part in it. So she comes back in the end of this book, and she plays a big part in the kidnapping in the kidnapping of Lisa the second time around. And now Mabel is in her 80s, and she kind of steals the book. She kind of steals the show in this book. The book is pitch black, it's bleak, it's disturbing, it's disgusting, it will disturb you forever and ever. But the last couple of chapters, when Mabel comes back, there's some scenes in here that made me laugh, and I was like, the fuck? Should I be laughing at this? And you know, she comes in, and let me find a couple of pages. Okay, so this is a scene where, towards the end of the book, where Mabel Schneider, now in her 80s, is with Mr. Smith guy, who's actually, his name is Tim Murray. Tim Murray, the guy with the van from the start, who hassled Brad and Lisa in the road rage incident at the start of the book. So Mabel is with Tim Murray, and they have kidnapped Lisa, and they're driving in the van, and this is the scene that unfolds between Tim and Mabel Schneider. They'd only been on the road for 10 minutes before Mabel Schneider started getting on Tim's nerves. Her presence was irritating. She smelled of dusty mothballs, sour sweat, and bad breath. Did this old bat ever take a bath? Have you ever eaten pussy? Mabel asked him innocently. She had put on a pair of reading glasses and was looking out the passenger side window, looking very much the role of an elderly grandmother. Lots of times, Tim answered, reaching into his breast pocket for his cellular, not even thinking about what she meant. Then it hit him. Then he shook his head. No, he said, trying not to sound too grossed out. Raw pussy can be quite good, the old lady said. All of a lady's parts are good. So are all of man's parts. You know, the testes, the nuts. Tim said, dialing Rick Shackman's number by memory. Listening to this old bat was driving him crazy. Testes are nice. They have nice crunch to them, especially if they are deep fried. I like to batter them in flour and seasonings, and you know, I don't want to listen to your culinary tasters right now, Tim said as the line on the other end began to ring. Come on, pick up, you fuck. The old women looked at him, dawning realization on her face. Oh, don't worry, young man. I have no interest in you. I like my men young. The best age for nicely crunchy man balls is boys that are teenagers. You know, boys in their sexual prime when their balls are full of spunk. 18-year-olds are the best. So are 18-year-old girls, Tim said, automatically trying to be funny. I agree. 18-year-old pussy is tender and sweet. So she goes on and on about it, like eating body parts and all the cannibalistic shit. Because she's this crazy lady from the 50s that the book opens with. And here she is at the end of the book telling one of the bad guys that how she likes to eat this body part, that body parts. And then she goes on, she starts going on about the eyes. I want the eyes. I want Lisa's eyes. And the bad guy, one of the bad guys, one of the villains of this book, is even so fucking put off and disgusted by this lady Mabel. And he's like, what the fuck is this crazy old bat, this lady? And yeah, they go on, and yeah, but there's some scenes in there, and this is a bleak as fuck book. Like this line here, when she going on when she's going on and on about eating eyes and stuff. There's a line here. Tim felt his stomach flop in his belly. So she was shitting me then. She really gets. So Tim felt his stomach flop in his belly. So she wasn't shitting me then. She really gets off on eating people's eyeballs and shit. Remember that scene at the opening of the book when she sucks the eye out from the eye socket of that her young lover? And then Mabel goes, I do like shit. Mabel said matter-of-factly, I like fresh shit out of a nice tight asshole. Shut the fuck up! Tim barked at her. So yeah, I mean, this book is nasty, this book is disturbing, but towards the end, there is some humor and it made me laugh, and I was like, what the fuck should I be laughing? Should I be crying? But the Mabel steals the show. She's the ultimate villain of this book. And the bad guys, the nasty shit they do, they get their comeuppance. They get what was coming to them. And I quite like about this book. Lisa, a heroine, she suffered a lot in this book. She made some dubious choices, but she gives the bad guys taste of their own medicine in the end. And that was good to read, good to watch, good to watch in my mind's eye, I'll say. But it was really good to see Lisa giving the bad guys the comeuppance that they deserved. Whatever justice was coming to the bad guys, it was great to see Lisa dish it out. I quite enjoyed those last ending parts of this book. Quite gruesome, but Lisa does not hold it back, and the bad guys get what they deserved. So that was pretty good. Saying that, even the torture scenes nasty they are. J.F. Gonzalez, sadly, he passed away. I think mid 2010s he passed away around that time. He does not linger on the torture scenes, He doesn't derive pleasure in going on and on about the torture scenes. He kind of sets the pace, the space, the scene, and next minute the scene is over. We know something bad happened. It's slightly mentioned, but he doesn't linger on the torture scenes. In a case, it's a good thing, but it's also what makes this book so scary, because now it's your imagination which has to do the work. to connect the threads, to see, to comprehend what the fuck happened. So in that case, it's a good thing that he doesn't explain them, but it also makes this book even more scary, because now your imagination has to do the work and fill in the details. So that's my thoughts on this book. Pitch black humor towards the end of the book made me laugh out loud. I don't know how you guys will find it, but this book is not for everyone. It's disturbing, it's disgusting, it's scary as fuck. And this is something that can happen in real life, and or you don't know what kind of nasty people there are. So this book doesn't have any aliens or monsters from the sea. It's the fucking human beings that do nasty shit in this book. So it kind of makes you more vigilant of the people, around you, and do you know who really know, who you're talking to, kind of a thing. This book scares you. Also, this book goes on and on about snuff movies, the history of snuff movies. Are they real? Are they urban legends? And while the author J.F. Gonzalez rumbles a bit, it's kind of interesting to read about, the history of snuff. Are they real? Are they not? Are they urban legends? So writing wise, this book scared me. This is a disturbing book. I don't really want to read it again. It's that scary and disturbing. Rating wise, I will rate it 8. Uh, have you read this book? How would you rate it? What are your thoughts on this book? Is there any other book? Extreme horror, splatterpunk horror, southern gothic horror, whatever. Any book you want me to read? Leave the title of the book in the comments below. And in the meantime, keep on reading great fiction, great horror fiction. And I will see you guys very soon in the next video. In the meantime, have fun and keep on reading great fiction. Bye for now. Cheers.